But Derek, man, Pritchard hasn't scored, man. Like, give the guy a bucket. Lay that off for him. Give him a layup.
I love the trust in the scheme, man. Like, it's Peyton Pritchard and Kristaps is like, nope, you're still going up there. And the way that Peyton Pritchard has held up and made Luka Doncic work possession after possession has been so impressive in this series. But yeah, D White, this is just elite feel to know that he should just, sneak up behind the super wide, doughy Slovenian guy. He's not going to see Derek White sneaking up behind him.
Unless you
Let's jump in here with game one of the NBA Finals where the Celtics set up with Drew on the wing while Tatum sets a back screen for Derek White, slips it initially, and then floats back out beyond the arc. And as Tatum brings his defender out with him, Drew times his drive accordingly. Luka is caught completely off guard. Kyrie has to help off Derek White, who is laying in wait there in the dunker spot, which has been an interesting new little arrangement for Boston so far this series.
Yes, this is a wild action. So it looks like Tatum's going to set a flare screen for Derek White, which means Derek's going to come away from the ball handler along the three-point line. But instead of that happening, Tatum, the second he makes contact, cuts. Then he returns, and Derek cuts in behind him down to the dunker spot, bringing Kyrie Irving to the dunker with him. And then Drew Holiday starts dribbling towards Tatum, fakes like he's going to get into a DHO, and Luka Doncic, who's already behind him, I'm not even sure Drew needed to do this, is totally bamboozled. Drew gets right down to the lane, and yeah, as you said, Ben, Derek waiting there with Kyrie Irving on him as the rim help. Easy too.
Yeah, if someone asks you why are the Celtics so hard to guard, show them this play. There's so many actions. They're running them so decisively. So the Mavs are trying to hide Luka, but your only option is really Drew Holiday. And it's like, good luck with that. So Kyrie tries to stay out of the Tatum matchup. That plays right into the hands of the guard in the dunker spot strategy. So the smallest player on the court is now the Mavs rim protector. All while Tatum has DJJ, Kyrie, and Luka terrified that he's going to attack them. Easy too.
Sticking with game one, Mavs bringing the ball up, Celtics getting organized, and blink and you'll miss it. Jason Tatum calling Kristaps Porzingis over to defend Derek Lively while JT hops out to the corner on Kleber, and this is at least partially to avoid KP being put into empty side pick and roll action where Luka would just destroy KP in space. This forces the Mavs to go to their second option while time just melts away off the shot clock.
Yeah, I think the plan was definitely for that Kleber empty side action with KP, and when that doesn't happen, the Mavs are like really discombobulated here. Like you can see Kyrie come down, and it looks like he's waving at PJ to like get a pin down from Kyrie, and then PJ is like pointing at somebody else, and I think it's Lively to go, hey, go set a screen for Luka, and then Lively veers off, and they get into this like goofy little three-man action on the weak side there that kind of goes nowhere, and it eventually just ends up into a Kyrie Lively pick and roll. JB, he does kind of get caught a little bit on that pick and roll. He's trailing behind Kyrie, but Porzingis is in like perfect drop defensive position. He's there. Kyrie knows he has to pump fake, so as he goes up, JB has recovered by that time, and he travels. What a bum.
Yeah.
Sorry. To my heart.
Yeah, the Mavs they lose that action on the left that JT kind of corrals, and then they're like, okay, let's try and get one of the slower-footed Celtics white boys isolated here. But JB just refuses to give KP or Hauser the switch, stays with Kyrie even if he gets lost. Yeah, as you said, Spoonie, KP plays perfect drop position, and then Hauser just plays great team defense. He comes down and cuts off the potential lob while also getting back and cutting off the potential pass to the corner. And this results in Mr. Fancy Dribbles seeing ghosts of TD Garden past and travels.
Something else that stuck out from game one was the myriad of ways the Celtics defended Luka Doncic, who right here is looking to attack Derek White. The Celtics have three guards on the floor at this point, and Pritchard comes up with Lively on the ball screen here. You can see KP call out the switch there to Pritchard. Pritchard does a great job staying in front of Luka. They just completely leave Derek Lively alone, not to mention Kyrie Irving in the corner. But before Luka can process it, Derek White sneaks around behind him and pokes the ball away.
Yeah, so I hate to admit this, but this is smart basketball at the beginning here from Kyrie Irving. So he gets into a throw and chase action, which is where you just pass it to a guy and then you set the pick for a pick and roll with him. And that gets Derek White onto Luka, which is an advantageous matchup. They really like that one. And then Lively's going to come up to set another screen to get into another pick and roll with KP. KP calls it out. PP switches onto Lively, then switches onto Luka once they actually get into the pick and roll. And this is absolutely incredible read by Derek White. I do not think this was intentionally a blitz or a double team. I think Derek White knew Luka's not expecting me to double because we haven't done it all game long. He's got his head turned, his back to me. I'm just going to go get this ball. He does. Great play. But Derek, man, Pritchard hasn't scored, man. Like, give the guy a bucket. Lay that off for him. Give him a layup.
I love the trust in the scheme, man. Like, it's Peyton Pritchard and Kristaps is like, nope, you're still going up there. And the way that Peyton Pritchard has held up and made Luka Doncic work possession after possession has been so impressive in this series. But yeah, D White, this is just elite feel to know that he should just, sneak up behind the super wide, doughy Slovenian guy. He's not going to see Derek White sneaking up behind him. Drew comes down to cut off like the number one priority, which is the roll man. Like, there's a different universe on this play where like Luka feels that and has one of those like crazy behind the back, behind the head passes to the corner. But this is the universe that we live in, and Derek White is perfect. Derek White gets the steal. Celtics go up 21 in the fourth quarter of game 1 of the NBA Finals. Timeout, Dallas.
Game 2, the Mavs running off a made free throw. I'm not sure why KP runs all the way out to half court to contain Maxi Kleber's dribble, but I mean, look at this. That's your 7'3", lanky Latvian sticking with the drive, which has a full court's worth of momentum to that point, all the way to the basket and just pins it on the glass.
So here's the only thing I can think why KP did this. Look at Derek White. He's trailing Kleber and trying to pick his handle. So I think KP's like, if I can corral him and get him to turn away from the basket around half court, Derek's just going to steal this ball like he did in game 1 against Luka Doncic. So that's why I think he comes out, and clearly he trusts himself. He trusts that calf enough to like recover if Kleber goes by him, which he does. He gets a step, but Maxi Kleber, who do you think you are, bro, going against the Latvian at the rim? Get out of here.
Dude, what happened to Maxi Kleber here? What possessed him to think that he could go coast to coast and dunk on Latvian Moses? The only thing I can think of is if like Maxi Kleber was trying to get revenge for Germany on Latvia because Latvia declared neutrality in the midst of World War II. It's like that's
surely it.
That's possibly it. But that's weird because like broadly speaking, Latvia and Germany have become like pretty close allies in the year 2024. So Maxi Kleber is certainly holding a grudge many years later.
And finally, Jason Tatum may not be shooting well in this series, but his drive and kick game has been nothing short of elite. First of all, just the ball movement to get it to Tatum in the first place, and that's been a thing all series so far, not settling for that first option, multiple drive and kicks, leading to Tatum driving on this Luka closeout. Kyrie is forced to help, and you have the luxury of kicking out to the league's best three-point shooter.
So my favorite part of this play is that Luka gets absolutely dusted multiple times, but this is simple basketball. When you know you can just crack your guy one-on-one, it's like, okay, empty side ISO for JB, but I love watching Gafford on this play. He starts near side help. I know Luka's gonna get blown by Jaylen Brown, but JB kicks it out to Tatum. Gafford has to jump back to the other side of the paint. Then he gives it right back to JB, and then he starts his attack. It's just like an extra second, like an extra inch, extra like millisecond probably of space for Jaylen Brown, and he needs it because he just squeezes between those two dudes. They drop down to help on Al in the corner, hits Derek White, perfect pass. Luka gets pushed by Kyrie Irving. He's so out of position to go defend Jason Tatum, who of course blows right by him. Drew Holiday, wide open three.
Yeah, here the Celtics are playing their favorite game. Pick on the squishy Slovenian guy. Luka does his classic single defensive effort thing, kind of attempts to corral Jaylen Brown, and he just doesn't rotate behind the play, which is why Kyrie has to push him back out to Jason Tatum, who then blows by him again. It's like Kyrie has to help. You could say don't leave Drew in the corner, but then Gafford's coming over. It's an easy dump off for Al Horford. Maybe the last option is just try and let the rim protect itself against Jason Tatum layups, which honestly with the way Tatum's shooting layups so far might be their best course of action at this point.